Okay guys, we're back on this FC body build here, and we got a lot of filler. Somebody just went at this and filled up this section. That whole section is just full of filler, quite a ways down here. So this piece is a mess. Our inner wheelhouse, this piece goes in here, and I think you can see how cruddy that is in there. And if we can get under here, you'll see we've got a lot of perforations in here. And then if you look on the front, you can see that this is just flopping around and this is no good. So I started drilling the spot welds out this morning, and it's going to be easier to make a whole new wheelhouse than it is to repair this one. So we're going to get the camera set up on the tripod, and I will show you hopefully this thing coming out without too much trouble. But that's the next step, is getting this out. Spot welds are drilled out, so we're going to try and extract this from the vehicle next. Okay guys, the wheelhouse is out. We drilled the spot welds out like normal, a whole lot of spot welds in there. Here's a couple of body chisels that I use to extract pieces like that. You can see there's quite a bit of rust everywhere. This piece is just kind of flopping around. It's a mess here. There was just a bunch of filler in there. So this area is open now. And I'll show you the wheelhouse. Okay, if we can get the camera on this. You can see this area back here is completely rusted away, and under that part there you can see all the rust. This is the front of it, and it's rusted away into the beads, and this is where the front floor attached. So you can see all the spot welds that had to be drilled out, and it was a bear to get out, but it's out now. And I'll take some careful measurements off this. We'll make some tooling to make these beads, and we'll make a wheelhouse for the passenger side. So I'll meet you over at the bench and show you what's going on. Okay guys, I've got the panel on the bench. I've got the edges flattened out. I've got the whole panel flattened out the beads a little bit. Made a profile of what the bead should look like so I can make some tooling. And then flattened it out so we can get as accurate a pattern as we possibly can, so it'll fit in there the same way as we took it out. So we've got all the details in here now of where to make little notches and things like that. It's about as flat as we're going to get. So I'll work from here. We'll run it through the slip roll to get a gradual curve in it, and I'll make some tooling, and I'll show you that as it happens, but I've got a lot to do before I can actually make the panel. This is made out of 16 gauge steel, and I have to order some of that, so I'll get that in the next few days, I imagine, and I will get back on making the wheelhouse and show you how that comes out as it happens. Okay guys, we're on the driver's side here. I just want to show you this piece right in this area here. This is the piece I'm going to make for the other side right now, and I'll show you how I do that. We're going to use the flanger to make this curved part right here, and I've got a pattern. I'll take you over to the bench, show you that, and then we'll fire up the flanger and get that piece made. Okay, there's our original piece flattened out. You can see how rotted out it is. And from there, I made a pattern just out of some 26 gauge, some galvanized stuff, just so it's not like cardboard, it won't deteriorate. And from there, our real part in 18 gauge. So we'll head over to the flanger next and get that made.
Go.
Okay guys, we're over at the Rotex. There's a tiny little cutout in this piece here, and we can get that done with a 3/4 die. Just nibble that out. Okay, it's the little things like that that make a real nice professional looking part. You won't be able to tell that from the original. So now we're going to go over on the flanger and put this curved flange in, and the rest of them we can put in on the brake. Okay guys, you can see this is kind of rocking on here now. And I can take the whole flange through there, and they make some stretching brake heads here. I'll stretch that out nice. So on an inside curve like this, the material needs to stretch. And when you're on an outside curve, obviously it's shrinking. So I'm going to bring it up a little bit, and then I'll go over to the hand stretcher, stretch it out a little bit, and you'll see it'll lay down flat. Okay, we're just going to make a couple passes on the stretcher. We're not stressing the material or anything, we're just kind of easing it back flat again. Stretch that out a little bit, and then we'll head back to the flanger.
Go.
Okay guys, we're set up in the brake here. We're going to put our first bend on it. And we'll move down to the other side and put the final bend in it. This edge here is going to curl up a little bit, but we'll just straighten that out with a hammer. And we'll go over to the bench and finish it up.
Go.
Okay, here's our finished piece. You see we got the curved flange in there. This is the next piece we're going to make. It's got a little joggle in there. That goes in there like that. Then this whole thing fits on like you saw when I showed you on the driver's side. Got a little notch that's supposed to be in there. We'll spot weld these two together before we put them in. And then there's just enough room in there to fit over the flange of the wheelhouse and that door stop that's there. So this dimension in here is critical. That'll take another 2 panels perfectly. And that's how we make that piece. And now we have a pattern so we can make it anytime. And without the 16 gauge I can't make the wheelhouse yet, but that's being ordered. And that's all I have for you today. So I'll catch you on the next video where we'll be making the wheelhouse and some more associated parts like the front floor and things like that. But that's where I'm at today, and I'll catch you on the next one.